Hey everybody, I'm Christopher Green. You're tuning into AMTV Alternative Media Television. This Friday, the 13th, 2015, I assume no coincidence. A very unlucky day in the minds of many Westerners. And I think really the superstition kind of arose around the Middle Ages. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe that didn't Jesus only have 13 individuals with him at the Last Supper before he was executed and crucified, and then he rose from the dead. Unprecedented coordinated attacks, up to 40, 50 people dead, according to initial reports that I've heard. Multiple locations in Paris, 100 people hostage in a theater, people in a state of panic, watching a casual game of football, what Americans call soccer, between France and Germany. Notably two allied countries that are behind a coordinated effort in the Middle East right now to fight ISIS. Now, not to discount any of the people dying, any of the people dead. Obviously, this is a tragedy. It's absolutely sick. It's grotesque. This is terrorism. I mean, it really does take us back to the Middle Ages. So I'm not discounting any of that. But upon reading the reports and really getting this news, and I just heard about it. I was actually at the gym, hence the quality of this video and, casual shirt, etc. This is classic Hegelian dialectic. Problem, reaction, solution. Remember, it's the same politicians, Francois Hollande of France, Angela Merkel of Germany, that have been allowing all of these terrorists cross the border. Millions and millions of people from a destabilized Middle East, which is only a byproduct of Western illegal intervention, an attack and war against ISIS in places like the Greater Levant, that has caused this destabilization and pushed all these people over the border so they can take advantage of a system that is allowing them to cross into Europe and into places like the United States. So this is classic problem, reaction, solution. They've created a problem. They've promoted the terrorists to come over. They've kept the borders open. They haven't closed them. And now people are dying. Now there's an unprecedented coordinated attack in Europe. And, God forbid, just like we're seeing in Europe, we could see this in the United States. I hope that doesn't happen. But again, you keep letting all these people over. This, of course, is going to happen. So classic problem, reaction, solution. Now the reaction, obviously, of the American people, the people of Europe, is going to be terror. It's going to be fright. It's going to be, well, now it's justified. Let's go and kill the crap out of these people over in the Middle East. And yes, we all back the wars, even though we didn't before, but because people are dying and they're blowing up movie theaters and innocent people are dying through these coordinated attacks on Friday the 13th, which again isn't a coincidence, not in my opinion, in the least, a very unlucky day. A lot of superstition around it. Again, a lot of this came from around the Middle Ages and, plays into the Christian faith, etc. in this war between radical Islam and Christianity and, the Western belief system and cultural system here in the United States of America. So the solution that the politicians are going to give you is more war. This will only, and attacks like this will only justify further escalation in this part of the world. When in reality, if you're smart enough to read between the lines, and let's just be frank about this, folks, most people out there aren't. I mean, I hate to be so cynical, but most of the droned out masses are too dumb to honestly put two and two together, even though it's just common sense. The solution is going to be war, and this is what the politicians are going to recommend. They're going to provide the solution, when in reality, we should all know, by being thinking, intelligent individuals, it's actually the politicians themselves that are responsible for the deaths of these innocent people, for this terrorism. You see, it's people like Angela Merkel of Germany that really have the blood on their hands. It's people like Francois Hollande of France who really has the blood on his hands. It's people like Barack Obama who truly have the blood on their hands. Remember, Barack Obama has been bombing the shit out of the Middle East illegally, has started a new war in Syria anti-constitutionally through executive action since September 2014 of last year. And guess what's happening now? It's destabilized the region. People are crossing the border. The politicians are allowing the people to cross the border. And with them, it's bringing ISIS and these radical terrorist groups and organizations, which really aren't ISIS. They're just a new spawning of Al-Qaeda. Again, they just changed the name because allegedly Obama killed Al-Qaeda before and murdered Osama bin Laden, even though he's died like 15 times and there was no evidence to prove it, and they kicked his body off a warship without taking a DNA sample or simply giving us a tweet pic. So really, ISIS is just Al-Qaeda. They've just changed the name. They've allowed them to cross the borders into places like Europe because they say it's a humanitarian crisis, and now they're killing people. So we've had the problem. We're going to get the reaction post this terrorist act and this tragic event and tragic day on Friday the 13th. And the solution is going to be offered up on a silver platter to Westerners, to the American people, to those being terrorized currently in France and potentially other places in Europe. And the solution will be war.